3. What is most important to know about version 1.3 is that we have basically imported, uploaded, added, whatever you want to call it, content for every single sports program in the country. Pretty much every single sports program in the country we have great content for, which is critical for our user base because we know that we need to provide a good product and good information on every sports program in the country so that it doesn't matter whether a high school student is being recruited by Alabama or by Lamar Community College in Lamar, Colorado. We have to have, and we do have, great information for those kids to use as a tool loaded up in the school pages on every single sports team here in the U.S. So let's dive in and let's see what we've got here in the new version 1.3. So first we're going to look up, let's look up a big school. Let's just go with Alabama. So we're going to click on the University of Alabama. Let's look at the men's basketball area. So the first thing you're going to notice is what we call the feed. These are streaming feeds from the Alabama Twitter handle that goes for basketball. So it is important that you guys know that we have uploaded over 55,000 different Twitter feeds into the SportsThread app. They all update constantly, giving us constant new newsworthy, up-to-the-minute information about every single sports team in America. Some of the things that you can glean from this Twitter feed are pictures, videos, announcements from the school, press releases, and game updates. It's very important that you know that the SID departments, the sports information departments, or the PR departments in the athletic department use Twitter as sort of their primary mouthpiece for interfacing with the public. Anything that they want the public to know about what's going on in their program, around their program, for branding purposes or for educating people about what's going on with their school, they are pushing out through Twitter. And by uploading these 55,000 different Twitter handles, we're able to offer fantastic coverage and information about every single sports team in the nation. So here's an example of something that we've gotten through Twitter, through the Alabama handle at Alabama men's basketball handle at Twitter. It's the 2016-17 schedule. So just an example of some of the great content that we're able to provide our users through these streaming Twitter handles. The next thing I'm going to show you is the info section. So our info section is basically tons of great, hard pieces of factual information about the colleges. These pieces of information range all the way from financial aid to the safety in the college, the educational statistics, to the cost of attendance. So let's page through some of the things that we are able to offer our people. And once again, this is available at virtually every single college in America that has sports through SportsThread. So first, let's check out the university details. We're able to see the main line for the school. What kind of city is it in? Tuscaloosa, small city. Awards being offered. Bachelor's degree. They offer bachelor's degrees at University of Alabama. The website. Whether they have on-campus housing or not. You know, there are a lot of schools out there who don't offer on-campus housing. Well, now you know that if this category said no, you'd know that you need to go out and you need to find yourself an apartment. The student to faculty ratio gives you an idea of how much personal attention you're going to get from the professors at the school. The student population, obviously with 37,000 kids, you're going to have a high student to faculty ratio, 21:4, and whether it's a public institution, whether it's 4-year, 2-year, community college, etc., etc. Next, let's take a look at the campus security. So the campus security section is all the reported crime instances that happened on campus and where they happened. So you can see all these different crime categories for what happened on campus, in the residence halls, etc., etc. So you can go on and you can get a pretty good idea of whether there's crime at the school, and not only whether there's crime at the school, but what type of crime is happening at the college. I think a lot of parents are going to be really interested in reviewing this so that they know whether they're sending their kid to a safe campus or not. Next is the admissions. So the most important sections of the admissions area to pay attention to are the test scores. So very important. You're able to go on and you're able to see the lowest and highest quartiles for the SAT scores. Lowest 25th, highest 75th percentile score in on the SAT, as well as the lowest and the highest admissions percentiles for the ACT. It's very important that you're able to see what you need to do to get into the college, whether you stack up academically and whether it's a realistic school for you to target or not as you approach that college, and perhaps you're marketing yourself to, University of Alabama basketball team. You want to go play basketball there. Well, it'd be pretty good to know whether you're able to get in to that school. Let's check out a smaller college now, and we'll pick up. So I mentioned earlier, we offer information on some of the biggest universities like University of Alabama, and some of the smallest like Lamar Community College. So we'll go check out Lamar Community College. There's our Twitter feed, lots of great content about Lamar Community College baseball. And then we'll go in and we'll pick up where we left off on the tutorial with the admissions. The last thing I wanted to point out, so for community colleges, if they have an open admission policy, pretty much anybody gets in. That's what's stated. The next thing I want to point out to you guys is the financial aid section. So this is a great way for you to learn what kind of package can work for you, what is available at the school, and how are you going to finance your college. Financing college is one of the biggest issues that face kids that are looking at going to school. They got to know how they're going to pay for it, and the Sports Thread app can give you a great idea as to what is at each individual school, where you should spend your time, applying. So let's go through this real quick. So federal grants. If I knew that 63% of the kids at the school were receiving federal grants, I would think that it's probably worth my time to look up or try and let's go back to Lamar. Sorry about that. If I were a student and I saw that 63% of kids receiving federal grants go to that college, I would think it's probably worth my time to fill out an application to do so. Additionally, 97% of kids receive some form of student financial aid at the college. That is critical. So you know that if you go there, almost guaranteed you're going to receive some sort of financial aid. So we're able to see not only what types of financial aid are offered at the school, but how many kids received that specific type of aid, and what percentage of the student body got that type of aid. So we can not only get a great picture of what is offered, whether it's Pell Grants, institutional grants or scholarships, grant scholarship and aid, state and local governments, etc., etc. We're able to see the full picture of what kind of financial package is available, and then go out and formulate a plan about how we're going to use that information to finance college. The next thing we're going to take a look at is the tuition fees and estimated expenses. We're going to go to a bigger school to do this with, so let's look at Boulder, CU Boulder. So now we're taking a look at CU Boulder, and real quick, let's just take a look at how it doesn't matter what program we choose, there is good information on all of them. Here's CU Soccer. Let's take a look at let's pick a smaller program. Let's do women's basketball. There you go. There's CU women's basketball. So it doesn't matter what sports program we click on, we're going to have good content on all of them. So let's go back into women's basketball, and we're going to take a look at the tuition and fees. So great way to get a feel for what it's going to cost you, hard costs to go to the school. There's a cost difference on out-of-state fees and tuition. You can compare and contrast out-of-state tuition and fees to in-state tuition and fees. The expenses, the living arrangements, etc. Let's go and look at another school. Let's try Dartmouth. So here's Dartmouth. You can see the fees. You can see the tuition to go there. There's not a difference between in-state and out-of-state at Dartmouth in this example, and as well as books and supplies. So once again, great way to get a good picture of what it's going to cost you, hard cost, to go to the university. Next, let's take a look at programs and majors. So this is one of my personal favorite sections because I've seen in my own walk, I've seen so many kids not realize that not every school offers every single major. They go to the school and they realize that, you know, maybe they want to be an English Lit major and they don't offer it at the college that they chose. Well, now they have to pick a different major, and they basically have to change the entire course of their life. So if you click, let's see if they do have English Lit. They have a bachelor's degree offered there. So on every one of these categories, it tells you whether there is a program that is offered at the university that falls within that major. So if you want a general psychology major, it is offered here at, which college were we on? Dartmouth. So let's keep going through this. Social sciences. So I would know if I wanted to be an anthropology major or an economics major or a sociology major, that there is the ability for me to get that degree at this college. Very, very important information. Next, I'm going to show you the video section. Let's go to one where we have a few more submissions from the athletes. So once again, let's look at Northern Colorado football. Streaming information from the athlete, from the Twitter feed, info, statistics. Then the next thing that we're going to take a look at is the video section. So this section shows that all the videos that are uploaded by the athletes at the universities. So, it's just a great composite of all the stuff that's going on at the school. So you can see here the University of Northern Colorado football team doing the Running Man, something fun there. It's a great way to get a look at the culture that's at the school. You know, if I didn't want to go and do the Running Man in the locker room, maybe this wouldn't be the school for me, but I don't know who wouldn't want to do that. Very shortly on this video section, we'll actually, above the past video area, will be U-Visit walking tours. We're nearly done implementing that. The next section is pro and cons. So the pros and cons section show us the positive and the negative comments by the kids at the university. So very, very important section for the student athletes that are reviewing the college. They get to see what it's like to go to the school, literally from the kids whose shoes they're trying to go fill. They're able to see the positives, and you know what? They're also able to see some of the negatives that are going on within the college. So this was a great one. This was done a while back, but basically they're pointing out that the leaders need to step up. So finally, rating section. We've already gone over this in the earlier section of the tutorial, but once again, 4 major sections: athletic life, academic life, social life, and campus life. Gives you a graphical representation of how the athlete likes all these different categories and questions at the school, and it can really help the student athlete in high school decide whether the culture and all of the sundry pieces of information that make up their own experience at the college is what they want. So that is Sports Thread 1.3. Guys, thank you for your time today. Just to summarize, with information on nearly every single school in the country that offers sports and all of the sports programs within those schools, offering Twitter feeds from over 55,000 sports programs and statistics on all the important factors about choosing a university, whether it's financial aid, safety, education, cost of attendance, etc., etc. Sports Thread is today able to offer a great tool for a high school athlete to do their due diligence at, no matter whether the high school athlete is being recruited by, as you saw during the tutorial, Lamar University, University of Alabama, or Dartmouth. We run the gambit. We have information on all of them. And then once again, guys, just we're very excited for everything that's coming down the pike with the addition of 2 new things, one of which is UVisit. We already talked a little bit about that. Those are the virtual tours of the college campuses. And then finally is the coaches directory. So we are out adding a national coaches directory to the app, and that will be done here shortly. That coaches directory will basically provide all of the contact information and bio information on every college for every sports program in the country. So kids will be able to use Sports Thread to proactively contact college coaches and market themselves after they've used all of our tools to do their due diligence. Thank you. This has been Sean Leary with the Sports Thread 1.3 walkthrough. Have a great day.